Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Welcome. I'm glad you're here today. This is Winston Chester for Panhandle Outdoors. We're going to get started. I hope you can put up with this cold weather because high today is going to be 83. Low tonight 71, but the water temperature is still at 91 degrees. It didn't get the memo. It's supposed to cool down just a hair. But anyway, we got a big week planned here on Panhandle Outdoors, a special guest, and we're going to get started though with our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. Looking at the moon phase, I always like to look at the moon phase on Monday. We're in the first quarter. Tonight's going to be the first quarter. Remember a week ago today was the had a new moon, and we're waxing, what it's called, it's building up, waxing. We've got a full moon coming up, so it's good. It's a good week to go fishing as far as the moon phase, freshwater and saltwater. That's brought to us by Sandhill Seafood. I took Mandy Miller, Mandy Warren, I still call her Mandy Miller, the Miller girls, Mandy and Megan. I took her to lunch the other day up at Sandhill Seafood. First time I've been at lunch because I want to try the buffet. Folks, it is good. I mean, they had catfish on there, fried chicken, fresh vegetables, really fresh vegetables, and just all kind of stuff out there, and very, very reasonable. So I keep talking about that because I eat there a lot. It's good fresh food, okay? The tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Today is the 28th. We're getting in a decent tide today, but man, we're looking at Wednesday and Thursday. We got some really strong tides. We're getting ready for Labor Day weekend, and all kinds of things going on Labor Day. Our tide's going to be really good for Labor Day weekend. The high tide is 232 this morning. Low is at 125 over the 0.8 foot range. Marine forecast still caught a little bit of northeast at about 5 to 10. Let's take our break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us on Monday morning. Let's get the show started with some neat pictures and a couple of cool announcements here is going to be affecting all of us. Let's look at this right here. This the Southeastern Dog Hunters Association and Season Hope Outdoors. They've done this one time before. It worked out so good. They're going to do a trash pickup. Remember Michael Harris and that group of people getting up there? It's going to be September 23rd, and that's a little bit less than a month away. I just want to tell you ahead of time so you'll know. Go ahead and put it on your calendar. They're going to meet at 7 a.m. Forest Road 108 at Apalachicola National Forest, and they'll disperse from there and have bags. And there's a phone number. You call Michael Harris or Joe Hall. And this is something really good. You're talking about doing positive things. Outdoorsmen always doing good things and all. They're going to do something very simple. They're just going to pick up the garbage. It's something they shouldn't have to do because most of the garbage out there is thrown out there by outdoorsmen, I'm embarrassed to say. So they go along there, going bags and bags. And if I can, I'm going to try to get over there and help them if I can. And that's a good deal. So go put that on your calendar. Check out these deer, okay? Look at that now. You're going to be surprised where these are. But look, isn't that a great picture? Look at the velvet. That is two nice bucks. Okay, now this is not where you think it's going to be. Here's the second picture. Johnny Conrad sent these in to me. Obviously, you see they're around some structures. They're not deep in the woods, but that's two nice bucks. Okay, I said, Johnny, where'd you get them? He said, Treasure Circle across from Legendary Marine on Thomas Drive. We were at work and drove up on them, folks. So that is two state park bucks right there that's just gotten away from state park, and they'll get on back in the state park pretty soon. Okay, I told you Friday I would have a couple of pictures of red snapper, but this had to be released because it was caught during the week. But that two boys there, that's Tyler Robinson on the right and Nick Martin on the left. That is a big red snapper, and they had to release that one. Big, healthy one. Two kings off the Panama City Pass and Shell Island. Kim Ogren with a fish, a 10-pounder and a 5-pounder. We're talking about how August is such a good month for catching king mackerel, and September is even better. That's a good job there, Kim. I know you're proud of that. Catching two kings. Got an email from one of my viewers. Do you recommend a local for purchasing an 8-foot net for a bay bait? I want someone local who makes these. Thanks. Okay, that's from Randy Isaacson. I'm gonna tell you. Here's my reply to him, because I want y'all to know it too, in case you want a net made. Bill McNeil, remember I had Bill on the show, we did some video. Bill McNeil makes a fine net. I got him to make mine. He will measure your arm length and make one exactly like you want. He's done it all his life and one of the very few men still making them. His phone number is, you see, 872-9306. So if y'all want a net made, just definitely want to go through Bill McNeil or anybody local that makes them. It's hard to find anybody. Only one or two people doing it. All right, look, this is interesting here. Spotted sea trout. I'm sorry, go back to the workshop here. Okay, I've lost it. Let's see, it was right here. All right, here we go. This is interesting now. They're starting to do this stuff online as far as virtual, okay? It's a newly added online feature. It's the FWC website. It can be found on Public Workshops page, and you click on that saltwater fishing, and you can get the copy of the workshop, and once you viewed it, you can submit your online. So they hosted they had 12 in-person workshops, and really, truly, the attendance was not that good. And so what they're doing now, they're actually putting online the actual meeting, and then you watch it online, and then send a comment in to them. So that's something brand new they're doing. So give it a try. Kids fishing tournament. I just got this announcement. North Bay Bait and Tackle. That's right there at the Deer Point Dam Bridge. It's going to be September 16th. Ages 3 to 15. I love these kids tournaments. Redfish trout, mangrove snapper, first and second place trophies, and also for the most spots and all. So that's free. A free kids tournament. You can't beat that. When you're in the mood for seafood, but you're on a budget. All right, fresh octopus. And again, I want to go over these waterfowl seasons because when Travis was on here, we couldn't find out about the goose hunt. Well, folks, the goose hunt actually starts this weekend. Look at there. Early goose hunt September 2nd through 24th. Early goose hunt. Then we've already talked about the teal and wood duck. He mentioned that last Thursday, and regular season for them. But the youth duck and goose is going to be February 3rd and 4th. Where the actual goose hunt is going to be September 2nd through 4th. Okay, so that takes care of that. I also want to mention when you're hunting goose and all, that's a big bird. It's a sort of slow-moving bird, but it takes a bigger shot to bring them down. My favorite story on goose hunting was one my dad told me when they lived way back in the country when he was growing up. And he was 8 years old. He still remembered it. He remembered it vividly. And he was 8 years old. And what had happened, they had a farm out there and way down on Teloja Creek on the edge of Gaston and Liberty County, way back in the woods, and no electricity. And he was he was born in 28, so he was in 1936. So he can remember the geese flying over late in the afternoon, and my granddaddy, his dad, shot one so they have something, so they could eat it. And he remember when he went to bed, he still remembered those geese flying around all night long, honking and trying to get that lost geese. They thought he was lost instead of shot, so they were trying to get that geese to come back to the flock so they could go on down south. And he just remembered all night long those geese honking, and when he got up that next morning, they were gone. And that's always stuck with me because that's, a lot of times they'll mate for life and stuff like that. That's why I haven't been an avid goose hunter. I always thought about shooting a mate or shooting a husband or wife of one of the geese. But they're really, he said, really good food. And it fed them for about 2 days. It was a big old goose and all. So anyway, we used to have them naturally, and then they disappeared, and now they've come back, and they're all over Lake Seminole. You talk to some of those hunters and fishermen up there, they're all over the place, and there are guides up there. You can take you goose hunting, and it's supposedly a lot of fun. And they cannot keep them off the golf courses there in Tallahassee and over in Quincy. They just shoo them out. In fact, I was up there at the country club in Quincy back during our class reunions, and actually a goose came up to the sliding glass door while we were meeting and actually pecked on the door, wanted something to eat. There's supposedly a wild goose. So there are a lot of them out there. Let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, folks. Looking up some stuff. I had one of the things I want to show you. I do a lot of research, and I obviously cannot find it now. I just lost it. But let's go ahead and move on to some other stuff. I wanted you to understand about the duck flyways and all, but I was going to talk about fishing, different tides and all, the tidal flow, because we're getting in this fall fishing, and one of the things I want you to be aware of, what the tide does, and you really got to be a master of understanding the tide and tidal flow in fishing. And one of the things that when how they react to it. One of the things you understand that when the tide is coming in, the fish they're going to go with the flow. And when you have high tide and you're out there around the grass and all, they're going to actually get on up in that grass, and there's going to be shrimp up in there, there'll be little crustaceans, and they're going to be feeding up in that grass. And that's when you see when it's really high tide, when it really pushes up. Now that's an excellent time. Now you really got to be careful when you're casting. You're going to get wrapped up in all. You want to weedless, and you want to try to get on the edges. But then as the tide starts coming out, what those fish are going to do, and I'm mainly talking about redfish and speckled trout, as the tide goes out a little bit, they're going to be just a few feet out of that grass, and they're going to start getting in those little channels. They'll find those little channels, and they get on the edge of it, and basically what they do is ambush the bait as it's sort of coming out. It's a real simple situation, understanding what they're doing. Now, it's not perfect. And also, when they're tailing, when that tail is sticking up out of the water on the redfish, they're actually feeding on the bottom. They're looking for those little crabs and all, that's scurrying around, and they're just scouring the bottom. And it's a beautiful thing to behold, because it's just nature at its finest. And then as the tide keeps on coming out, they're going to retreat a little bit, and as the water gets deeper and deeper, and what they're going to do is sort of get it back in the potholes, especially the speckled trout. They're going to settle in at 3 to 4 foot in those potholes. And I used to fish a lot with Captain Roy, and we always talked about how they have these same habits, and what they'll do, they get back in those spots and just hold on. And then when the tide reverses, it's the same motion. They're going to start coming back in, and they're going to come with the flow. And so is the bait. The bait's going to come on up there and get on up in shallow water. It's a real simple process. I'm sort of oversimplifying it, but the big thing is to understand that what they're doing is following the bait. And that's why we're talking about shrimp in Apalachicola Bay. Shrimp's going to be in a bay system this fall, and there are going to be a lot of redfish caught. And if you can get behind a shrimp boat, don't get in their way or anything, but get behind them, you can get in some feeding frenzies. And especially if you see 2 or 3 shrimp boats out there, the shrimp's there. So even if you don't get behind them, there's going to be a lot of shrimp there. So pay attention to boats, and then of course the birds. Watch where the birds are diving, especially in late summer and early fall, because the bait's going to be more concentrated. And even going out the pass and all around and over Crooked Island Sound, if you see some birds over there, it's going to be a telltale sign. That's why one of the best fishermen in the early years was a guy named Hawk Massolina. He got a nickname Hawk because he had eyes like a hawk, and he could see the fish and see the birds and all. He was a great guide. Okay, now I want to move on. We got Labor Day coming up. Can you believe Labor Day is almost here? And I made a list. You know how I like to make lists and everything, how to do some things to do on Labor Day. So I was going to do top 10, but I actually ended up doing 11 things to do for Labor Day in case you had a loss on what you can do outdoors. And I'm going to go through them fairly fast, and in no particular order. But the first 3 starts with C. Well, one is camping. If you can get a campsite or go camping somewhere, the night's going to be a little bit cooler. Make sure the air conditioning is working. Number 2, crabbing. The crabs are really healthy now. Late summer, they're healthy. They've modeled. They've got they've got weight on them, and got a lot of meat on them. So crabbing's good. 3, catfishing. We talked about catfishing. Get out in the middle of a river or where the sandbars are, fish the bottom, called tight lining. Great catfishing this time of year. Again, the catfish have been eating all summer. It's been a lot of stuff is really healthy now. So catfishing is good, or even if you need to set a trot line or something, or bush hooks. Number 4, surf fishing is starting to get back, starting to coming back now. It's going to be a little bit cooler mornings, and we're getting ready for that fall run. It's a little bit early, but still, if you get out there early in the morning, fish about an hour or 2, you can catch some whiting. So surf fishing is still possible, especially if you want to beat the crowds. Number 5, I just wrote down boating, kayaking, canoeing. Get on the water and do something on the water, paddleboard, or just whatever you want to do. But get on the water and just enjoy the water itself. If you have to, just get there, swim around in a circle. Number 6, picnic at a state park. I put that in a lot because picnicking, if you sort of just don't hang around the house, but pack up a picnic and go out to a state park and enjoy some of the natural beauty. Number 7, ride in the woods. All these management areas that are open to the public, Don't go four-wheeling if you don't have a four-wheel drive. But just a lot of these roads are pretty decent now, and you can find some of them. Just ride around and stop and walk around. Number 8. I wrote down jetties, San Antonio State Park. Just go out to the jetties. You can snorkel. I've been doing it for many, many years, and we went week before last, and I still love it as much as I did the first time I went. It's just a lot of fun to get out there around that kiddie pool and act like a tourist. Number 9, I wrote down do some pond fishing. Catch some brim or catfish in these farm ponds. A lot of people have their private ponds, and they don't mind you fishing in them. A lot of people feed them and all, and it's a lot of fun to catch some fish out of those ponds. So pond fishing, good. Number 11, walk the beach at night. You can just get outside and walk up and down the beach. It's so beautiful, especially if you get around away from the lights. I know at Cape San Blas, walking the beach at night is special. Turtles are hatching, and you may even get out and see some turtles hatching. They're really starting to hatch now. And one of the things I'm going to do, I used to do this, I haven't done it in a long time, but I've got myself a walking floundering light, and walk along the beach, especially get a northeast wind like we've had. It's really calm out there, and you can do some serious flounder gigging walking along the beach. So you want to, anywhere from knee deep, and you'll be surprised, especially when the water's clear like it is in the fall. And of course, I did number 11. I wrote down wildlife, nature, taking pictures with your cell phone now, with the camera, the quality of the cameras you have now. Back in the day, you had to get out a big old camera and all that, and line it up and all that. But these cell phone cameras are really good quality, and you can take a lot of good pictures. Almost all the pictures we see on here are taken with cell phones. And so I'll get out and take some bird shots, take some gator shots, to get around some nature, take some close-ups and different angles, and sunsets. It's not just wildlife, just anything in nature. Take some pictures. So plan on doing that this weekend. So there's a list of 11 things if you bored and don't have anything to do, and you don't want to sit around the house all day and play on electronics and all that. So get outdoors and do some of those things. Let's take a break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Jeff just told me during the recess here that we need to add number 12 on the list. That's take a nap. So you do want to rest and get some time to yourself and all. So add number 12, take a nap. Fishing game time today brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. 5:54 to 7:54 this morning, and this evening 6:16 to 8:16. Now, what I was looking up, I got it during the break here. And I get fascinated with these. This is a fairly recent development of Ducks Unlimited, and what they'll do is they have reports because duck migration has started. And I've always been fascinated with duck migration and all this. So now what they do, you can go online, and Ducks Unlimited, you look on here, and then they start putting reports and all these little pins, reports from certain areas, and they do it daily. Okay, in fact, I looked at it last night. They had one from this area. So I'm going to, but they've already moved. So I'm going to pick out, this one over here looks like toward Mobile maybe. So I'm going to press on it. That's Mobile, Alabama. I'm going to view the report, and it gives you a report. So this is, of course, this would be, well, this is actually last week. So it's early morning. But anyway, I just go straight down the last line. A few blue wings starting to show up, black-bellied whistlers mixed in. All right, so then I'll go back to, that's Mobile, and then you go down here, and I'm looking at Mississippi Flyway, but I'm going to look down here in Central Florida. I'm going to look down at Tampa. Few reports in Tampa. I can't believe I got a report from Tampa, and Tampa is teal or thick, duck on, okay? They got a lot of teal already down there in Tampa, so that's fascinating right there. So like I say, you can go online here and look at all kinds of different places. We'll look at one more, because I'm mainly concerned that we get most of ours in Mississippi Flyway. So let's look at northwest Mississippi, which is Lambert, Mississippi. And this, I haven't looked at this one yet. No teal here yet, but weather's getting a little cooler. So that's just, anyway, you get the point what they're doing, and people just send in reports, Ducks Unlimited. Now, in another couple of weeks, that's going to be lit up all over the place, and you can actually follow the geese, and especially I always look for the mallards, because the mallards are sort of the bellwether bird coming down, and the mallards are coming here, and especially when they hit around Arkansas. That's when things get excited. So I talk a lot about duck hunting because I used to really do a lot of duck hunting. I love doing it, and I'm still fascinated with the migratory path and all that. Okay, let's move on. Now remember, we have some hunter safety courses coming up. Travis talked about it last week, coming up soon. So go online, my FWC, and check it out because a lot of different things going on. You want to get that hunter safety course, like Travis said, you got to make sure that that you get it done because it's by law. Now, kayak fishing. Brad talked about that Friday. I was going to mention kayak fishing because it's a lot of fun too. You know, you can see the biggest problem I have as far as outdoors. I enjoy so many different things, and I love to kayak fish. I just don't go enough. But Brad mentioned now they're actually taking guides down there, and I want to show you some pictures real quick of some fish. He was going to show me. Okay, check this out. This is from kayak fishing. Now his guides are going to do inshore. This is a guy that comes down named Tommy Shambliss. He lives up in Georgia. He comes down every weekend. Of course, I know he didn't catch all 4 of those, but anyway, it shows you. I'm just going to go through a series of pictures that you can catch off of a kayak. There's Tommy there. Folks, that is a healthy snapper. That's on the western end. We've got some good bottom over there, and it's not hard to get to. You can see he can go out on a calm day. Okay? This is a picture last. He caught a sailfish from his kayak. Again, you want to go on calm days and all. And let's see, this is Corey Madison Hastings catching some, but let's see if I got any more of these. I think that's all I have. Those 3, but you can see that all the things you can catch off of kayak, and you know, these catch king mackerel and you see the sailfish and also a lot of things to be caught off a kayak. But like I say, that's called nearshore fishing. They don't get out of sight of land for the most part. But the guides that Brad has down at Sunjammers, they're going to do inshore bay fishing. It'll be a lot safer and all. And it's something, you know, you might want to get it for a present for your wife or for your husband if they talked about doing some kind of kayak fishing. Great way to learn about it. So anyway, that's going to start wrapping things up. We had a great show. Got a special guest coming in next couple of days. You're going to really enjoy it. So thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. Appreciate, as always, the viewership, and always do something good for your fellow man. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.